I guess we'll just watch the mogul mail. We've watched a couple of videos from Atrioc before. I think he was actually quite insightful with things that he was talking about. So it's disappointing to see something like this happen. Why, what, over Charlie? Because he was personally friends with Ludwig in a way that he wasn't friends with Charlie. So that's why I went to watch the Ludwig video about it. It's actually because I fucking hate Charlie, okay? He's got better hair than me, and I don't like it. Is that better for you?
You know why you're here, so let's talk about Atrioc. Normally when
You know why you're here? All right. You know the rules, and so do I. For anybody who doesn't know what the backstory on this is, I haven't made a video about this. I've been in LA. Basically, Atrioc got caught paying for deepfake porn of Pokimane and Maya. And he's married. He did an apology for it. Apology did not go over very well. And it sparked a whole conversation about this. And Ludwig's girlfriend. Oh, yes, and also Ludwig's girlfriend, Cutie.
I make a mogul mail, it's a pretty simple process. I just find a topic I'm interested in, I do research on the topic, and I give my take. That's it. But for the first time ever, I felt pressure to make this video. It hasn't even been 48 hours since Atrioc, one of my friends, was revealed on stream alt-tabbing, which exposed that he paid for a deepfake porn website of streamers, of his coworkers.
Y'all really got to stop doing this. Stop looking at porn on your streaming PC. Use another PC. He could easily fucking afford another PC. Do you want to know why I'm never afraid to alt-tab, guys? It's because nothing on this entire computer is private. Anything I pull up, any file, any folder, any application, nothing is private. Yeah. Cinema Starforge. This is a weird situation. I don't want to turn this into some weird fucking promotional thing, man. Like, nah, bro. Like, that actually is really weird. Like, we can talk about, like, whether it should be illegal or not, like, after the video, but, like, it's an actual thing.
Of pretty much every woman you can think of on Twitch or YouTube.
Of course.
My girlfriend included.
Yeah.
Now, he did say in his apology that, you know, it was a video of someone he didn't know in real life, but I don't really think the nuance matters. Some people were mad at me in my DMs, and they tweeted at me that I've taken so long to make this video.
I really hate that. I think that is just so fucking slimy that people would fucking start like trying to deep dick Ludwig, like fucking, oh, fuck you, Ludwig. You didn't make a video about this within 6 hours of the event. Yeah, fucking no shit he didn't. He wanted to wait and just see what happened to get the full story. Maybe talk to the guy himself. It's his friend. Yes, it's not about it being his friend. Well, it is in a way, right? It actually, you know what? The truth is, it is. And there's a lot to it.
But I hope you get that I prioritized being a boyfriend to my girlfriend,
so obnoxious,
who's had a very shit past couple of days, over being like mogul male guy.
Yeah, it's like there's a part of me that like doesn't really like talking about this because I know like Cutie was like upset about it because like obviously this is like a certain effect. Like let's just, you know, again, like I'm not going to dance around it. This is going to Streisand affect the deepfake situation. Absolutely will. It already has happened, and it will continue to happen whether or not we make videos about it. But it will absolutely happen. However, like Cutie has very, very adamantly tried to prevent content going online that sexualizes her in a way that's non-consensual. So it's really disappointing for somebody like that to be put in this position.
But then when I sat down to think of like, okay, what am I supposed to say here? What is my take?
Yeah.
It didn't feel like there was any other take to have than the one being expressed by all the women
Literally
online.
anybody.
So rather than tell you a random dude's opinion on all this, I figured I would just show you some of the tweets that I thought were poignant and powerful and read them together. Starting with Pokey, who said, "Stop sexualizing people without their consent." That's it. That's the tweet.
Yep.
Which I don't really even understand how you would have a different opinion. If someone doesn't want to be sexualized and they don't consent to it, they shouldn't be sexualized. Next tweet was from Ray, who said, "It should be illegal to profit off of somebody's likeness in sex work without consent, whether it's fake or not. Talking about it will bring those sites more attention, but I hope this helps take a step forward in the right direction so that a law can be made to protect people from being used in this way," which is a good point. Not only are these women not consenting, somebody is profiting off of them, and they're not consenting. Crazy. And to the second point about how it'd bring more attention, I feel a bit better about making this video now.
It does.
Because the creator of this website took down the website. To be clear, he's still a weird, creepy piece of shit, but the website at least was taken down, so...
I don't know why he would ever make an apology for it. Just take down the website. It was obviously weird. You were making money after sexualizing people without their consent. Like, this is obviously bad. Like, what are you doing?
No one can, from this video, try to see what all was going on
like,
there.
why even write this? Sorry, I thought it was playing.
Next tweet is from Sweet Anita, who said this story...
So I'll definitely say that I don't think that there's ever going to be a world where making this illegal is going to work. It's just not. Because there are over 100 countries in the world that all have different laws. So people will just go to websites that don't have the same laws that we do, in the same way that steak is banned on the US, but everybody still uses it. Like, that's just how it is. Like, maybe it shouldn't be that way. Maybe it should be illegal, but it's just not. It's impossible to make that happen.
How I found out that I'm on this website. I literally choose to pass up millions by not going into sex work, and some random Cheeto-encrusted porn addict solicits my body without my consent instead. Don't know whether to cry, break stuff, or laugh at this point. And I think, honestly, that's one of the biggest fuck-ups Atrioc did. Like, it is a fuck-up and a severe lapse in judgment to not only go to this porn website, but pay for this porn website. But then leaking it on stream caused a whole new world of harm.
Oh, yeah, it's really bad. I mean, like, of course it's bad.
Because so many new people were exposed to this idea and then went out to seek what this idea was. To seek deepfake.
Let's also look at the fact that it's been going up. Like, this shit is probably already going to be going up. People are already going to be talking about it more. And I bet if you look at it, this is the past 7 days. You see what I'm saying? I bet if you compare this to the past, like, 5 years, that it's probably gone up in general. Yeah, people, bro, like, over in Nevada, they are down bad.
Porn. Not only that, a bunch of women, because this was leaked, found out they were on the website. And if you don't know, my girlfriend and many other women pay sometimes thousands, tens of thousands of dollars a month just to make sure that, like, random photos of them being sexualized are not on the internet.
This isn't even something that's unique to people like Cutie that don't want to be sexualized on the internet. It's actually a lot more common with like girls that do OnlyFans. Like, if a girl does OnlyFans and then some guy subscribes to her OnlyFans and then he posts all the content from her OnlyFans on Reddit or on some other website, well, guess what's going to happen? That girl's going to make less money. So it's in her best interest to get that stuff shut down. So, like, it happens with them all the time. And, yeah, leaks. It's just that simple. Yeah, famous people, too. Absolutely. But, like, that's what it's most common with.
Pay money, which is not part of their job description, just so that it doesn't exist. And it's a lot different, by the way, because I've seen this take float around. If it's a woman being sexualized, then a man. And I think you can probably understand like how that was created over the past couple of centuries of humanity.
I do think it's true that men can be sexualized without their own consent and in a way that makes them uncomfortable, and it's more socially acceptable. Now, I think a good example of this is how people treated Henry Cavill in certain interviews, same with like Jason Momoa. Now, I find this to be also like very weird and a uncomfortable double standard. But I don't think the response to this obviously bad double standard is to treat both genders badly instead of treating one gender badly. This is just not... It's like a sour grapes, like, oh, you fucked me over, so I'm going to fuck you over. Yeah, it's just not how it should work.
Where, you know, my balls being leaked is a funny thing, and then a woman's boobs being leaked leads to, like, you know, a bunch of teenage kids, acne-faced kids jerking off. I think you can probably...
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I do think that any sort of leak like that is bad, whether it's, you know, a guy or a girl. I think that the nuances of whether it's worse for a guy or a girl, like, what value does having this conversation create? How does this improve anybody's experience? These are just people that have resentment towards the other gender, and they're getting mad. It does nothing. It has nothing positive. It does nothing for anybody. Nothing for nobody.
Probably understand that. Mm-hmm. QDOS had a good point, something that most people wouldn't have perspective on. The amount of body dysmorphia I've experienced since seeing these photos has ruined me. It's not as simple as just being violated. It's much more than that. Because at the end of the day, it's a deepfake. It's not you, but also it's what this person who made the AI deepfake is like projecting on you, but it's not. It's weird. It's weird.
Well, I think there's a little bit more to that because, like, so what I think he's really saying with this, and what I think that is very true, is like you're going to look at deepfake versions of yourself. Like, I'm sure people have probably done this, and they've seen like these different like applications that change their face in a way that makes them more conventionally attractive, you know, the like GigaChad filter type things. And then they feel like, oh, well, I wish I looked like that, but now I don't, but this website's making me look like that. So like you're almost seeing the way that you should look instead of the way that you do look. But it's you, but it's not you, and it's this weird fucking like weird parallel universe mind fuck. So yeah, I could absolutely see how things like deepfakes would like completely set off somebody's body dysmorphia.
Seeing some awful takes regarding this deepfake situation. We're all real humans with real lives that are affected by situations like these. It goes much further than it's not real. Please have some compassion and think beyond it's not affecting you in any way. Streamers are people. Streamers are they are humans. And I feel like sometimes you will never be able to sell an audience on the fact that streamers are people because nobody cares. Nobody cares that you're a person. Nobody cares how you feel. Nobody cares if something made you uncomfortable. Streamers exist primarily for entertainment, just like dancing monkeys, and I don't think that it's possible to ever get an audience to really give a shit. And I think also, like, a lot of the comments that were used to be criticizing Cutie, it wasn't even about her being a streamer that was used as a, what's the word for it? Like a negative... a negative way to describe her. It wasn't her being a streamer, it was her being rich. So you have people that see somebody that's, you know, like this wealthy, popular, multimillionaire, seen as like a good person, and they have this way that they can undermine all of that, and it gives them a sense of power to be able to do that. And they think that they are entitled to be able to do that because of that person's wealth. That's what happens. Get treated like actors were treated like a decade or two ago, where they're not people, they're like they're the mega rich actor, you know, fake George Clooney or Jennifer Lawrence or whatever. But streamers are so much easier to access, one, so it's much easier to hurt them, and two,
well, people would do this to regular celebrities too. There's nothing unique about streamers that makes them special or immune to this harassment. I think there's a lot of class consciousness, especially with streamers, because people feel more connected to them. So the imbalance can feel much more of a... It can feel much worse whenever you feel like, oh, this person is also sitting in their room just playing video games all day, but they're getting paid millions of dollars and I'm a loser. So, like, whenever you see somebody who's acting and doing all this other stuff, there's, like, a lot of separation between, like, you and them. But, like, with streamers, you can see what they're doing for so many points and times of the day that a lot of people see themselves as, I could be in this position if I got lucky. I think that's extremely common to see people say whenever they're talking about streaming specifically. And YouTube to a lesser extent.
Many more of them.
And that's why.
And they are not all rich, famous. Some are just doing it as the only job that they like and can do. And there's not a lot of humanity in the interactions that I see with streamers. Maya had a really powerful screenshot tweet here that said, in 2018, I was inebriated at a party, and I was used for a man's sexual gratification without my consent. Today, I've been used by hundreds of men for sexual gratification, probably thousands, without my consent. The world calls my 2018 experience rape. The world is debating over the validity of my experience today. The debate over our experience as women in this is not, shockingly, amongst men. None of you should care or listen to what any male streamer's take is on how we feel. I founded a nonprofit animal sanctuary at 22. I've raised over $1 million for conservation at 24. I have created zero sexual content in my 3 years on Twitch. Despite this, my face was stolen so men could make me into a sexual object to use for themselves.
The truth is that's why they do it, is because they're not sexualizing themselves. Is that some guys like that, to be able to sexualize somebody without their consent. That's like a whole porn category.
If anyone doesn't think it's a big deal, that's my name in the headlines where thousands of people are commenting on the sexualization of my body against my will. You're the problem. This situation makes me feel disgusting, vulnerable, nauseous, violated, and all these feelings are far too familiar to me. This is not your debate. Stop acting like it is. Which might solicit some reactions from like guys watching, which is not all men, not me. And like, yeah, like congrats. The bar was on the floor, but you weren't a weird fucking creeper. But you could also like understand that it's almost...
I think that a lot of guys, and I do think that it's problematic to categorize all men in a negative way. I think that in any other circumstance of categorizing an entire group of people based off of an immutable characteristic that they have no control over, this has never ended well. It's dehumanizing because now you are no longer Bill, Ted, Jeffrey, Zach, Ludwig, but you are instead a man. And so you have been dehumanized. You are no longer a person. You are a characteristic. So I can absolutely agree that people would not like to be characterized that way.
Always a man. Like the dude who made the site, a man. The dude who leaked the site and paid for it, a man.
Yeah.
Everyone who probably from that leak paid for the site, also likely men. Like disproportionate.
I don't think all is probably unfair, but I think that, is there anybody who's willing to bet that it's not at least 90% guys? Come on.
To women 100 times over. And I feel like it's okay to acknowledge that and use that information positively. And I want to end with this Medium article written by Josie, which I thought was really poignant, which said, Atrioc apologized for viewing the deepfakes, and maybe he was telling the truth when he said it was a one-off mistake. A rabbit hole he tripped and fell down. I don't know if that makes it better. Doesn't matter. Is morbid curiosity a valid excuse for violating the privacy of people you know?
I think there's always going to be a spectrum of how bad something is. Recidivism, frequency, intent, someone's goals, like all of these things matter, but ultimately that's not really the conversation.
How many women were unknowingly used as feature models on the site? Does the apology make up for sending an army of men to stare at every single woman on the site? QD had a good analogy. Yeah, of course, he did not mean to send an army of men to this site. But you also don't mean to get into a car crash. That still doesn't mean that it's not a fucked up situation and that the pain from that car crash hurts. Ultimately, it's not really about Atrioc. He's just another man partaking in the problem. It's about...
I think that's a really good insight. I think that's very true. Is that who gives a shit about Atrioc? It doesn't really matter. It's a broader conversation. Like whether Atrioc never talks about this again, whether he does, it will have no effect on this because all of these things will continue to occur with or without him.
Men feeling entitled to every part of a woman online and the desire to consume so much that they are willing to rob women of their personhood. It's about the men who will defend him because they see nothing wrong with viewing women as solely vessels for their pleasure.
Well, that's exactly right, because guys just want to jerk off and they don't care about any of this. And that's the cold, hard truth. And I don't really know what you can do about that. I have no idea. Because it's like, again, like you're going to have people that make these websites in other countries. They're harder to take down. The more people fight it, the more some people like want to do it even just to troll those people. It's very problematic. And also, like, as the technology becomes more advanced, it also becomes more accessible. So it's easier to do. It becomes better. Like, this is a very big problem. And what we're really seeing here is the infancy of this problem. I think it's going to become a lot bigger very soon. And this is simply the tip of the iceberg.
It's worth reading all of that. I'll put it in the description. And any more of the tweets from the women who are streaming or who were on this website or who were a part of what happened here. I don't want to, like, be a defender of Atrioc, you know? Like that's not what I want to do. Like I do believe, maybe naively, as the guy who's been scammed for $50,000, that he isn't like a shitty, seedy person who's like secretly jacking off to my girlfriend. Like I don't think that's that guy. I think he fucked up. But sometimes, like, that's enough.
Well, it's not, in my mind, it's not even really about Atrioc. Like, I don't want to go and talk about how bad is Atrioc. Let's do a 1 to 10 scale of how bad Atrioc is for this situation. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't solve anything. It doesn't advance the conversation. It doesn't matter. It fundamentally doesn't fucking matter. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be a new Atrioc every day, even if he's not a popular streamer. These websites are going to continuously become more popular. Why will they become more popular? Because they'll be better. That's what the concern is. That's the conversation. Atrioc is just it's just a launching pad for that conversation.
Like, one fuck up is enough. And like, I just hope from here, he just takes all the steps and all the actions, you know, to make it better. Like that there's some good that comes out of this because of the guilt, the remorse he feels, and how he views himself in trying to show he is the man that he thinks and maybe I believe is still in him.
Yeah, it must be weird for Ludwig especially, right? Because Atrioc has been a friend of his for a long time, and to be so close with a person like that, and then to hear this like really kind of weird thing, especially like, you know, your girlfriend being on that website, that's pretty weird. Yeah, let him cope. Yeah, I think it's fair for people to feel that way. It's probably a lot of emotions that go through your head, and it's very hard to know what the right thing to say is.
He wrote his own tweet about how his apology on Twitter, how he's stepping down from off-brand to take time offline and to take these steps, you know.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea to take a break. Somebody says, devil's advocate, if deepfakes take the stand of artistic rendition and is protected under parody laws, what can they actually do? I don't think that it's a parody. I don't think anybody thinks it's a parody. Is impersonation a parody? No, I don't think that's the case.
Time will tell and show the actions that he takes, if they're fruitful, if they're not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to show it because really this is about the women. I was just a vehicle for you to read all those tweets. There's the take. I feel like that's the only take to have. I don't know how you would have another one, but thanks for watching. This was weird. Hopefully I don't have to do this again and I can go back to talking about e-girl drama. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, I remember I had something like this very similar happen to me recently. So I can entirely understand how Ludwig feels. It fucking sucks. Really fucking sucks. Let me link you guys a video. I'll talk about it. Check Atrioc's Twitter apology. Okay. Okay, so he wrote this here. This isn't long, is it? Okay, thank God. He wrote this, your statement's long overdue. My actions have taken me from someone I was proud of, trying to make a positive impact in my community, to a deep fake porn guy. The scar of that is deeply felt on my heart. First and foremost, I want to specifically apologize to Maya and Pokemon. You were both in a screenshot that spread around the internet. Your names were dragged in and you were sexualized against your will. You both succeed in this industry in spite of the blatant unfounded sexist attempts to hurt or assassinate your character in a male-dominated space, and now I'm another guy on that long list. I'm sorry I didn't reach out sooner. I'm sorry my actions didn't lead to further exploitation of you or your body. And I'm sorry your experience is not uncommon. The reality is I have it easy compared to the dozens of women who, for my actions, discovered they are exploited unconsensually. I'm sorry to all of you for the pain I've caused in the action and its ripple effect. Cutie described it to me as a wildfire, and I believe that's correct. My goal now is concrete action to fight that wildfire and do everything that I can to combat the damage. Short term, through the efforts of Cutie and Ryan Morrison's law firm, the website in question has already been taken down. I've spoken with Morrison, and keep this in mind. So it got taken down because of legal concerns, which is not really a surprise. Working to cover the financial cost of the takedown, as well as all the legal fees for the women affected in using his services, removing the unwanted content from the web. Additionally, I'm engaging more law firms to continue to remove this content from other areas of the internet, such as Reddit. To ensure this has my full focus, I'll be focusing on stepping away from confrontation and off-brand. Lastly, to anyone who's expressed a sentiment of support for what I did wasn't wrong or that I shouldn't apologize, fuck you. Sincerely, I don't want your support. I do not stand with you. This will be the last time you hear from me for a while. I'd rather you see my actions. I'll try my absolute hardest to combat the damage I caused. Well, I mean, to be honest, that's the best thing that he could say. It's not like there's something else that would be better than that. I think that in the general is seems fine. Sure. And yeah, I mean, I think it definitely sucks to be in this position. And I think just, I mean, everything about this sucks. Only his actions will tell. Imagine your career ruined and people say it's parody. Let's read some comments about this and we'll see what this is. I hope this makes laws against deepfakes. What the fuck do US laws have to do with the internet? Can we please stop imagining this fantasy world where the entire internet is dictated by United States law? Like, it's just not going to happen. The US doesn't own the internet. It doesn't matter if you make a law against it or not. Charlie used as an argument. A law would be good, and I do think that deep faking somebody, should that be against the law or not? I think that deep faking somebody in a sexual way like this, yes, but I'm thinking about like where that line is. Yeah, it probably should be. I think so. Deepfake Putin declaring nuclear war. Yeah, of course there's something like that. Let's see here. Deepfake that damages the person. Yeah. So no drawings either. I see that you have chosen to intentionally misunderstand the conversation. Drawings are not the same as deepfakes because people look at drawings and they know they're drawings. Now, if you're talking about some hyper-realistic drawing that is functionally the exact same as a deepfake, I would argue that nobody can really draw that way anyway. But secondly, yes, I would say it's the same thing. So that's just, again, that doesn't make sense. There's already a law against it. It's called misappropriation of likeness. No one talks about the porn stars that get their videos stolen, their face masked over. We're talking about that right now. I don't know, what do you, what's your point? What do you mean? Nobody talks about them. We're literally talking about that right now. But if you put a disclaimer, any likeness is purely coincidence, easy. No, that doesn't really work. And what about their discoverability? I don't even understand what you're trying to say. I have no idea what you're trying to say. It's being taken, their work is being taken, everyone feels bad for the streamer, but not for the porn star. I think that was their point. That's because we're not talking about them in this video. That doesn't mean that it's okay that it's happening to them. Just because we're not talking about them in this video doesn't mean that it's okay. Nobody thinks that. Just because, yes, of course we're talking about this because this is what's happening. Laws don't matter. Someone with the software to deepfake knows how to use VPN, so it's pointless. It's not pointless. I do think that laws have a place, and it's probably a good idea to have them, but I just don't think it's a solution. I don't even know if there is a solution to this, if you want my honest opinion. I've thought about this a lot for a few days ever since it happened. It's how do you solve this problem? And I can't think of a single way to solve this problem that actually works. We can all talk about, oh, this should be illegal and we should stop this and it shouldn't be the case. But what are we really doing? We're just beating our chest and talking about how, oh yeah, the bad thing shouldn't happen. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Bigger issue of sexualization of women in our society, acceptance, normalization, action leads to deepfakes. Okay, that's, I guess it depends. They'll probably invent something to prevent it. We always do. Yeah, but then, it's the same as ad block, right? Is they invent something to prevent ad block, and then ad block gets better. And then the thing to prevent ad block gets better. And it's this fucking arms race forever. Unless we heavily regulate the internet, in some dystopian world, people will get around it eventually. I think people are already getting around it. Bro, people use VPNs in China. I don't know really what people are using it in Saudi Arabia. Come on. You can't stop people from making... No, I don't think you can. I don't know what the solution to this is. Think about a law. It makes people able to prosecute whenever they're victims and trigger a domino effect to other countries. If people are more nervous to use deepfakes versus regular porn, they'll watch regular porn. Maybe. It's hard to say. Because, really, they're not going to... People are, there's no realistic universe where somebody is going to get prosecuted for consuming or buying deepfake porn. This is just probably not going to happen. So, what's, like, why would somebody not want to do it? Yeah, for producing it, yeah, for sure. But, like, there are it's like one person can produce it and 10,000 people can consume it. So it's very easy to continue being able to produce it, especially as technology improves. You see what I'm saying? If it makes money, someone will do it. Yeah, exactly. Problem is the current generation of politicians, it's got nothing to do with that. You know that in music, if you sample something without clearance, you can be sued 100% of the publishing that works around the world. So if a website gets big doing this, it can be held liable. Okay, let me think about that. Give me a minute. So if you sample something, you can be sued because of it. Yeah, I think that's true, but the people that you're talking about are massively well-known artists that sampled something. Like, for example, yeah, the Vanilla Ice one. I think that was like Vanilla Ice and Queen or something like that. But, like, these are two massively popular artists who both live in first world Western countries. That is just simply not a good comparison to people producing porn on the internet. The reality is that we'll be uploading 3D rendering our faces into VR with other means. Then AR can put any face on any body for the sexual content. Yeah, I know. It's not even that hard to do. Corridor Digital, a video of it. If you have a DC, the software is easy. Yeah, exactly. Laws don't work. People are too horny. If we want this kind of problem to stop, we should legalize the people being defaked, being able to hire hit squads to stop it. Okay, in a world where we're desensitizing by porn, I don't, that this has nothing to do with it. Oh my god. Let's see, we'll read a few more of these. People have some really crazy opinions on this. Wow. Okay. Is there statistics on men who consume porn? I have no idea. It says nothing to do with it. Banning deepfake porn would create a huge slippery slope. Why should it get banned? Causing emotional distress. Do you know how much legal speech would be swept up in that reasoning? I'm not sure. I think that being able to take down deepfake porn of yourself whenever your likeness is used, I think that's fair. Does anybody think that's not fair? I think that's totally fucking fair. Streamers exploded with creating deepfakes of streamers because of this. It's impossible to completely police the internet. Yeah, I mean, that's the issue. Is like, and this is also an issue compared to child porn. It's made illegal and regulated across the board for good reason. The internet isn't one entity. It doesn't mean it cannot be controlled to a good degree. Yeah, but like, this isn't even remotely as bad as that. It's not even remotely close. Like, don't even pretend like it is. It's not even in the same universe. Both of these are bad, but one of them is like the worst thing that you can do, and the other one is like just really bad. It's bad, so why not? Because it's disproportionate. I don't want to even talk about that. It's weird. Let's see here. It's harder to track too. Yeah, it's a lot harder to track. I mean, there's a lot more to it. I mean, I don't want to go into the details because it just makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, next. I think it's super unethical. I'm not 100% sold on it being totally illegal, though. I don't think it matters if it's illegal, is what my point is. Because people will just consume the content from websites that are outside of U.S. jurisdiction. Guys, how many of you pirate TV shows? Me? Is that legal or not? It's clearly illegal. Okay. So, I don't know what to say. I mean, like, self-snitching? No, I actually don't pirate TV shows. I don't have to. I mean, I don't need to. I just get the subscription. Do you get scared? Incidents like this bring light to the situation, which will create more of the deepfakes? Yeah, but like you have to address it somehow, right? How's it not illegal? Could be some sort of identity manipulation. Yeah, I can't imagine it not already being illegal. Pirating is moral as companies became greedier and greedier. But like you have no, like you say pirating is moral because companies are greedy, but you have no actual basis on that. There's no foundation that you're building that off of. I bet you're pirating movies and like music from people that are just starting off and they don't even have a record label signed. Like just stop trying to pretend like you're doing this because you want to feel like you're being morally consistent or some good sort of person. Bro, you're stealing their shit. Like just stop it. Stop trying to pretend like you're not doing it. Just steal it and smile. Stop fucking stealing it and then being like, oh, it's the capitalism and it's moral and the companies are just so greedy. Just steal it and smile. Stop it. It's so fucking annoying. Oh my god. There's nothing that's more fucking annoying than a person doing a bad thing who's convinced themselves that they're not. Oh god. As deepfake advances become a tool for identity theft or powerful figures, they might be regulated then. I think there will probably be other ways for that to be addressed. So I wasn't thinking about this before, is the consent around porn and how that plays into the deepfakes. I think men get off to the idea of not getting consent of these women and sexualizing them, so we need to educate more on consent through the lens of the internet maybe could help in tandem with these other solutions. What is the logic in that? If guys like not... That doesn't even make sense. Because if if it is an added, like, improvement that the girl isn't consenting, then, like, what education? Like, what are you going to tell them? It's bad? They know it's bad. That's why they're doing it. Like, I mean, really, like, just... I mean, come on. It's already bad. Yeah, exactly. The people just, I think people just... Yeah, they care less whether it's consent or not. They just do it because they want to see it. Exactly. Yeah, it's literally that simple. What about anime, where most are not available with pirating, and considering that most money isn't made from anime since they promote manga? Bro, just stop it. Just fucking stop it. Stop coming up with excuses for why it's okay for you to steal something. Just steal it and smile. Or don't do it. Steal it and smile or don't do it. You are not going to fucking get me in some sort of like this weird fucking abstract arcane like fucking like hypothetical situation of why it's okay that you... Bro, you're pirating the new Marvel movies. Like, just stop it. You're not doing this. You're not only... Yeah, you're pirating Arcane. You're pirating Chainsaw Man. You're not doing this to some weird, you know, discontinued anime from 1981. If you are, then just do it. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't want to come up with these like super specific circumstances where it's not as bad. Like, what are you doing? It's just, don't we talk all the time about how, like, video games shouldn't cater to the 1%? Why are we talking about 1% fringe circumstances? It's not normal. It's not what's happening. Yeah, just stop the mental gymnastics. It's so annoying. Is it moral to steal for survival? No, it's not. It's not moral, because if you steal something from somebody else, then they don't survive. It's not. So, like, if you go and somebody has an apple and you steal their apple and then you eat it and then they die, well, how is that moral? Like, what are we talking about? Yeah, survival of the fittest. Yes, there's not, the world does not exist in morality. Morality is this is a human idea. It's not real. There's not morality out there like there's oxygen and hydrogen and trees and gophers. This is an idea. It's a construct. Yes, just stop trying to apply your moral construct onto every interaction that happens. There are sometimes interactions that transcend human constructs of looking at the world. It's crazy. It's not an excuse. Pay for Crunchyroll for 2 years. You know what they did? They added a worse player. Don't bother to check the spelling. And add some bullshit that the characters don't say. Yeah, a lot of the stuff is bad. That's true. No one could stop Rule 34. Well, I'll tell you this. Nobody ever has. Well, give me a second. It's fucking... My heater's decided to randomly just go ape shit. I'm gonna open my window. It's like 40 degrees or 30 degrees outside, so it should cool it down pretty fast. Okay. Not everyone has different degrees of what's morally acceptable, which is why it's part of the reason for us to have the laws. Yeah, exactly. You're the ones talking about in terms of morality. If you saw a bunch of monkeys and one had a ton of bananas and refused to share, would you be mad at the other monkeys for taking some? No, but I wouldn't be mad at the one monkey for having all the bananas either. Do you know why? Because there are only two states of being in the world. There is what is and what is not. And that is the only truth that exists. Something either is or it is not. It's not about whether it's good or bad or evil or nice or anything. It just simply is and it is not. It's kind of reductive. Give me an exception. If Disney didn't have the power to shut down Rule 34, I think there's no hope for it. Yeah. Quantum physics. You can't just say that. Like, you can't just say this and be like, oh, okay. What does that mean? Schrodinger's cat? Schrodinger's cat's not real. You understand that? There's no Schrodinger's cat. It doesn't exist. The biggest issue is that it's going to start happening to regular people. So an employee pissed off with their female boss goes and makes a deepfake of her, kind of fucked up. Yeah, I definitely think that's fucked up, but the truth is, you know what else is fucked up? The idea that your employment is contingent, is hinged on your private interactions online. I think that's really fucking weird, that people are losing their job for doing things that are sexual on their own time. I think that's disgusting. I don't think you should even be able to do that, to be honest. Yeah, of course, if you're a kindergarten teacher, yeah, definitely. However, besides that, absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not. Don't put it online then? Okay. We will not respond to that one. You're a moral anti-realist, just to let you know. That's fine, but most philosophy has moved on to moral realism. That doesn't mean anything. What the words that you're putting together that doesn't mean anything to me. You can type up all of your definitions and all of your like these like weird fucking like worldviews that have been constructed by a bunch of people that sit around and talk about things in this super abstract way that's become disconnected from reality. Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, word salad. Yeah, exactly. Philosophy class. Yes, just it's just please. It's hard to explain a sentence. Pull up their logs. Where do you draw the line? Can you talk to someone? Can you think about someone? Can you draw a picture of them? Can you Photoshop them? Can you have an AI do the Photoshop of them? Can you have the AI do a video? I don't think that it's that complicated, man. And we're also not talking about where you draw the line. We're talking about a specific circumstance. I don't know where you draw the line specifically. I think it's a case-by-case basis. All I'm saying is that wherever the line is drawn, I think this is over that line. It's impossible to say the line is the exact same for every single person. Yeah, it's impossible to do. Think about how easy it would be to blackmail people. Oh yeah, as I said, I think this is the beginning. This is only the beginning of the deepfake stuff. Big celebrities are sitting down right now looking at this and be like, yeah, I've been there. Twitch streamers are public figures, believe it or not. You're gonna have weirdos do weird shit. Yeah, it's true. It's like I saw this take and I wanted to comment on it. Is that people are saying that it's a very weird way of me expressing this, but the idea that being deepfaked comes with the territory and that's a bad take. No, it's not. It's true. It's absolutely fucking true, whether you like it or not. And so is getting swatted, so is getting stalked, so is getting killed. All of these are risks you take whenever you put yourself on the internet. None of these things should happen, and all of these things do. That's just the truth. It shouldn't be like this. I wish it wasn't like this. We should make laws to make it less like this. But it is. That's what I think. You don't do anybody any favors by letting them live in delusion and coddling them and patting them on the back and saying this should never happen to you. It's okay. It should never happen. Of course it shouldn't happen, but it does. Objective morality can't exist without a higher power. Well, I wasn't talking about objective morality. When did I ever use the word objective morality? I never did. Now you are like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. It's 1 a.m. and I'm arguing with somebody in chat. I never said that. Do you think it's saying it's morally wrong to masturbate? To those are fine. It's policing the mind of people. At what point is this any different from imagining the naked bodies of X people? Obviously, I'm removing the profiting from the streamer's image angle here. It doesn't matter whether you think that it's wrong or not, because everybody is going to draw their line and in a different place. Some people do all kinds of weird stuff. The truth is that I am not really, I don't want to sit here. Like, I made a tweet about this, okay? I'll read my tweet. AI deepfake porn made of people without their consent might be hard to stop, but can we at least agree that it's really fucking weird? I do. I think the Atrioc situation, I think Atrioc behaved in an extremely weird way. Very weird, very uncomfortable to be around, and I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. but I'm also not going to sit around and moralize about how bad he is because it does nothing. I'm saying, like, what are the possibilities? Like, how can you address this? How can you solve this problem? How can you come closer to solving this problem? And it's very hard to know what to do. And I think in a lot of cases, it's not even possible. It's not, yeah, I don't think it's solvable. I think that in its current state, it is not a solvable problem.